What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Unlock Your Freedom podcast with Kevin Kepple. If you're looking to create more in your life, and if you want more of anything, it's not about doing more, it's about being more. So I'm excited you're here, and I'll see you guys on the inside. Oh man, I'm really excited for this. This is actually a first for me, 150 episodes in, and that's the first time I've had two guests. And so double trouble staring me in the face here, Dom and Julie. And I'm really excited to learn more about Creative Con because I'm going to attend, but you guys are the co-founders. So Dom, kick us off. Tell us kind of the why behind this and how did we get here today?
Yeah, putting me on the pressure right off the start. So one, we're so thankful you had us on today. Really appreciate it. But I think the roots of Creative Con. I'm a publisher. Julie does a whole bunch of things. She's a publicist. She publishes books. She's a podcaster, and we both have this deep belief that your story is so important that we don't want it to get lost. And when we have a worry that if people are only looking at one aspect of media, that they could be missing eyes that want to hear their message, people that need their message. And so what Creative Con is it's a place where we're going to bring in experts and doers and build a community where you can ask Julie, how'd you get on that stage? You can meet Kevin and say, what made you start a podcast? What mic to use? But we're going to have the experts and doers and really try to just get as much out of those 2 days as we can. How's that?
That's pretty good. And, you know, one of the reasons I think that I'm really excited to connect with you guys is I'm always looking for really two things in people that I want to go deeper in connection with and have, you know, a real relationship moving forward. And it's like a big heart and a big brain. And you guys both really check those two boxes. And y'all are so powerful, but really humble people. And I'm really grateful there's people like y'all doing things like this, because I think it's going to be such a powerful impact and just the world in general. So thanks to both of y'all. And Julie, you want to kind of talk towards the same question for me? What's the why behind this for you?
The why is you. The why is you. And first of all, Kevin has insight into me because he administered the Clifton Strengths test on me. So he knows exactly who he's talking to when he talks to me. It was super enlightening. So Dom, you need to take the Clifton Strengths test. I have a feeling we'd be very similar, but I love big heart, big brain. But the why is you. And quite honestly, when I think about it, when I think about my story, the story of just dimming my light, like checking all the boxes, let's go to college. Okay, check. Let's get married. Okay, let's check that one off too. Let's go to law school. Let's spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on law school. Done. Let's have the babies. Let's get the white picket fence. And then I found myself very alone and questioning the real quality of my life. I always knew I loved to write. I always knew I was a creative, and I started a business, and I found myself doing all these amazing things, writing books, doing podcasts, speaking on stages, doing creative things on social media, but I didn't have the words for it. And what it does when you are omnipresent, you are able to build a brand, to build a life, but feel more fulfilled inside when you are creative. I don't think, especially our age group, and I think we're 40s, 50s. So, you know, we probably didn't have that word creative. Are you a creative? When I was a kid, I would have majored in being a creative if I could have at the time, but I didn't know. And we are going to major in creativity and building brands and building our presence around the world, globally, digitally at Creative Con. So that's my why.
Ooh, and for anyone who's curious, number one strength for Julie, positivity, like kind of hashtag duh, right? But
I did send that to Dom. I don't know if he looked at it. He's probably like, I get it now.
Oh no, we were right on that same wavelength. I would say the only difference with me is I am big heart, small brain. So
that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. He's humble.
I vehemently disagree with that. So I think
humility. He embodies humility for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I'm really thankful that you guys again are doing this because I think it's going to speak to a lot of different genres, but all in a similar way. So, kind of, who all would you say this is appropriate for? If somebody's listening, how do they know this is the place for them?
You go on.
No, you go. I'm pointing to you.
Oh, that's she's pointing to me, and I'm psyched to answer this question because
Yes.
I've really been thinking about this, and
Oh,
for everybody that's been told they can't, that they had the high school teacher that said, you can't do this, you're not a good writer, you can't dance on stage, that had the boyfriend that told them they wouldn't amount to anything, that works at a corporate world and wants to get out, and they said, no, you're not going to leave, you're scared, you're wearing these handcuffs. These are the people that have this story inside of them, and they've been told, no, you can't. Well, to me, you said we can swear, so to me, that's bullshit. You can do it, and we're bringing this community together of people that have done it, are doing it, and are supportive, like Julie, who want to say, here's the tools, here's the tips, here's the team, let's make it happen together. So that's where I want to go with it.
what is Kevin's story? I mean, this is hard for me because I have podcasts. So Kevin, it's hard I love to turn the tables. You have a story that you can infuse into your brand. How can you do that? And have you shared your story here on the podcast? Have you shared your story with the universe? And I was privy to getting a copy of his manuscript of his amazing new book. I got goosebumps. I'm just going to say, like, goosebumps.
Well, the goosebumps only came after you helped me rewrite the intro. So thank you for that. But grateful for even the time you took to look at it. I think that kind of in line with what Dom was just saying for the longest time. And, Julie, you said this similar thing. It's like, I did what I was supposed to do. I went to college and I got the job, and like I was quote unquote winning at the job. I was winning the trips. I was getting bonuses, and was like the top producer in my office, and I couldn't have been more unhappy. I remember I got a check one time for a bonus, and it was like $20,000. And I remember looking at that, and I felt so dejected because no amount of money that check could have been would have made me happy. Like, it was cool, like $20,000, like sweet, but if it was 200,000, like it wasn't gonna make me happy. And I was just really misaligned from like the natural gifts that I have. And instead, I was just doing what I thought I was supposed to do. And I just kept asking myself, like, there has to be more. This cannot be it. And I don't want to do what everybody else is doing, because you know what? Like, I'm never gonna win if I'm trying to win like somebody else. And like, there's only one Kevin, and I need to leverage that fact. And how do I do that? And I think that's the $1 million question. But I think this conference you guys are doing is going to be an amazing insight into ways that I can unfold more of the gifts that I have. And so I know there's going to be keynote speakers. I know you're going to have panels and networking. What other types of things are we going to have access to?
Wait, we're not going right there. I mean, Dom and I are both chatting behind the scenes, and seriously, you don't know us well enough, but that really pulled at not only my heartstrings, but you connected with me when you said there has to be more. Like, that is how I felt for so long. There has to be more. And I won't speak for Dom, but I will speak for Dom. I know he's gone through like a roller coaster of careers. And I think he was always wanting to do this and tap into his creativity, but I'm not going to speak for him. But Dom, you know what you're going to say.
No, I'm okay. I'm stealing this from Kevin. There has to be more.
Yeah, you are our audience. There has to be more.
Kevin, when you speak in a language,
it is professional but personal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you speak in a language that hits us in so many ways. I remember I was in pharmaceuticals, and I remember being on a stage at one point, getting some kind of award or giving some kind of speech, and I'm up on this stage thinking, like, supposed to be enjoying this moment, and I was up on the stage thinking, I'm not going to be here next year. My goal was the complete opposite of what you would think, and that's the people that we will be attending and things like that. They're not taking the traditional path, like Julie said. Nobody, this path that said Julie had to do this, check box. Well, you don't have to do that. You can do it your own way, and hopefully we can help them with that.
So I have a question for you guys about creatives. And so before we kicked off, I was telling you guys about a study that I just found from Adobe, and it reported that people who report themselves as being creative are 34% happier than non-creatives. And, I found this on the internet, so it has to be true. That's the rules, right? No fictional information there, but, I would agree with that, because when I'm creating, I'm aligned with love, which is my essence. And when I'm not creating, I'm just reacting and doing this repetitive patterns of pain generally. And it's like fear or love. Those are my choices. And so when somebody tells you I'm not creative, which I'm sure you've heard before, that always like blows my mind. I'm like, okay, well, who got you dressed today? Because you created that outfit unless somebody got you dressed. But, I think everybody has the ability to create. It's just a choice and an action.
That's really deep. I mean, like, I am writing notes as you're speaking because I actually would even love to use part of this podcast for at Creative Con. You are speaking to those people that feel that sense of emptiness, that feel that they're not fulfilled and don't know how to express it because you're getting all the white noise around you. And I love that you believe anything on the internet too. So that makes me happy.
And this term creative, it gets, sometimes people get scared of it because, like you said, there was no degree back when we were in school that said it like if I
Major in
was
creativeness.
right, when I got creative in class, they stuck me in the corner and
Right? I was always in the corner, Dom. You too? We're in so much trouble.
Sent me down to the office.
Yes.
And my mom said, like, quiet down, and my dad said, don't act normal, so
Don't act normal or act normal.
don't act normal, because he was
your
saying,
dad loved it.
no, he was saying that my normal was this
Oh, don't act like Dom's normal.
yes.
Got it.
So
that's so hard though when they're telling you to be like everybody else, because
Oh.
they're telling you to placate towards the middle. And if I'm in the middle, that means I'm average. And I don't want to be above average. And if like I want to like stand out. That's why God gave us all gifts, so we could stand out, be unique, and create value for other people with those gifts. And what a cool life to live.
This just brought up an idea. I mean, I see a lot of issues within the school system, and they are creating factory workers. And I see this with my kids. If you don't do this, you are going to get a C. You are going to go to the office. And I was always in the corner too. They called me Chatterbox, by the way. Booyah, Chatterbox is working now. The big voice. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, they are creating factory workers in the school systems. And I remember talking to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he specifically said, I would want my children to get C's as opposed to A's. The children that are getting the C's are the ones that are thinking outside the box and will be the leaders of tomorrow. Because when you are getting A's, you are following all the rules. You are ready for the factory. You are ready for corporate, the corporate handcuffs, if you will. So that just sticks with me. So I hope that makes sense. And I just didn't interject a different idea into this conversation.
No, I love that. And you just gave me some confirmation bias about school, because I refused to do the things I thought were stupid. And, it was like do 50 note cards for this research.
Were you a
paper.
rule follower, Kevin?
No, absolutely not.
You're one of us.
Yeah, I think so. I had a lot of energy and like to do it, my way, and my way wasn't their way, and show your work and all that stuff. But anyways,
I
show your work.
One day my son got in some trouble at school a couple of years ago, and the teacher made the principal made him send a note and like say what you did wrong. And my son said, I will not listen to you. I don't have to listen to you. And like went on and on and on. And we were terrified. But now having this conversation with you two, I'm thinking, man, my son is
give him a high five.
Yeah.
Here I'm mad at him and yelling, but talking to two more creatives, maybe I should have encouraged him more at that point. Rather, maybe I'm part of those people that haven't encouraged others.
Yeah.
But that's courageous too. It takes courage to be creative.
Your son is awesome. Yeah. For sure.
Well, it takes courage to do that, because it's risky to be, outside the box. And, he fought for what he believes in. Good for him.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like if you don't like hurt anyone or you do anything illegal, I mean, there's a huge difference. But like this is where it happens, not using your voice. When we don't use our voice, we conform to what we're supposed to do. I see that being muted as a child. And I obviously fell victim to that. Or probably, I don't want to say victim, that's a harsh word, but I fell into the mechanisms of being obedient and doing what's right and pleasing others. And I lost my voice during the way.
And
Mhm.
that's like so common. Like I have a brother who's 2 years older than me, and he's one of my best friends, but pretty much my opposite. You can look at our strength finders, like almost directly opposite strengths.
Mhm.
And he's 2 years older, but I always joke. I'm like, it's like you're born like 80 years old. You've always been mature and wise and
Mhm.
just did the right thing and had a checking account when he was like 7. And I'm watching
What?
cartoons
That's so funny.
and it's like, why can't you be like Max? I'm like, it doesn't seem like any fun. Like I'm a little kid. And, comparison is the thief of joy, right? And
Mhm.
every time I look at him, compare my weaknesses to his strengths, and I walked away feeling like I was less than. And of course, I'm going to lose it being him. So,
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Whoa.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that was deep.
Julie, you were
Yeah.
right. Kevin's incredible, man.
Yeah.
I love him. You're right. There's only
He's
I have
introspective and like
yeah.
really is observant as well. So I love
Right.
that.
That's good stuff, man. I have this belief that there's 8 billion people on the planet, and there's only one Julie, one Kevin, one Dominic. And if we try to be anybody else, we will fail miserably. Like if you're trying to be your brother, you won't. But if you're
Mhm.
Kevin, you'll be the best Kevin. This one that
Mhm.
almost made me and Julie cry twice so far. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
but
go
that's the
on.
cool thing, right? Nobody can beat us at being us. Like we've got the
Wow.
market cornered on that, and nobody can tell me I'm doing it wrong as long as I'm being authentic the best I know how. And that doesn't mean I'm going to hit home runs every day. Like, and so what? That's okay. As long as I keep
Mhm.
showing up, there's no failure because I have resiliency. And
Mhm.
if I'm doing that in an effort to help other people, then that's what it's all about. That's the whole deal. God gave us gifts
Mhm.
to use to help other people, and everything comes back. And
Mhm.
that I don't know, I'm preaching to the choir. You guys create a whole conference to serve people, and so I do want to talk about some of the details to your conference because this is really important. I want to get as many people there as possible,
Mhm.
a little selfishly too, so I can just hang out with more people. But
Mhm.
I think this is. I know some of the speakers you have personally, and they're amazing people. Like attracts like, so that's no
Mhm.
surprise. So it's in February in Chicago. Can you tell me
Mhm.
the dates and location and where people can go to learn more about it?
February 17th and 18th, right outside Chicago, downtown Chicago. It is at the Metropolis Performing Arts Theater in Arlington Heights. It's about 15-minute drive from downtown Chicago. It's about a 15-minute drive from O'Hare Airport. It's about 20-minute train ride from downtown Chicago. So it's very accessible. And the property that we're on, they have incredible space for us to do workshops, a main theater. There are tons of restaurants. I mean, like really good restaurants. I'm not saying McDonald's is bad, but it's not McDonald's. Like really good restaurants, entertainment. So you don't really even have to go outside if it happens to be a little cold. So, and I'm excited to get Dom there and see the beauty of Chicago
Oh, in February. It's supposed to be
in
pretty hot then,
February.
right?
It's like talking people and believing that it's awesome in February in Chicago. That's what I'm doing now. But the heat is on. The heat will be on in Chicago in February. It's a week after the Super Bowl. It's after Valentine's Day. It's after all it's before spring break. So it's just the most boring weekend on the calendar. So that's why you need to be there.
It
Yeah.
was it
It
used to be
was.
there. It used to be. We should do it
Yeah.
this week every year. This is probably the
Yes.
first of many Creative Cons.
Yeah.
So get there. But imagine we knew the Super Bowl was coming, and we knew Valentine's. We said we'll be the biggest event in February, and that's what we're going to try to do. Julie, did you mention like in detail about the workshops, like just so
No.
people can like one of our partners says to us,
Oh
there's
yeah.
practical application too. So not only are we going to have the
Tom.
speakers, yeah, Tom Langen just wrote a book, Legendeering. He's the
Yes.
best. He owns Talix Media, 2-time Emmy nominated. But one of the things that he says
Producer and
is,
director, not a
yeah,
videographer.
no, yeah, he's done it all. But one of the things that he says is there will be practical application too. So we're not just going to put people on stage and talk at you. There's going to be workshops where you can bring it down and say, well, maybe how would I query a publisher? How
Mm-hmm.
would I turn what's Sam's last name, Julie? How would I turn the camera around and make
Keating.
how would go on,
Samantha Keating.
give her some props. Yeah.
She's awesome. She works with Wild Rose Press with Rhonda Penders. I mean, like we have like a real rich speaker list. Samantha's amazing. She does all this amazing social media things that I can't even speak about, but I'm going to learn from her. I don't ever pretend not to be the smartest guy in the room.
And we got John Jay syndicated in over 100 markets. And so my point about like Sam was, well, on the main stage, there may be panels, there may be interviews. You're going to learn all these different things. But then in a workshop, you might be able to actually try it. You might be able to actually turn your phone around. Sam may turn you the phone around and teach you how to make a reel.
I actually didn't know that. So thanks for telling me, Dom. I didn't realize that's where you're going at.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Like this
Okay.
first, you're taking it the whole way through from like with Rhonda at Wild Road Press, the founder, she's going to show you if you want to write fiction, well, maybe here's how to outline it. Maybe here's how to submit your query letter. So we're going to go take it to that. We're going to go high level and me and Jolie, maybe we'll pump you up and then you go down and we will get into the fine details so that you're able to leave there and say, yeah, I have the tools to make this happen.
And I'm really excited about networking. Like that is like super huge for me. I think in this day and age, building an online presence is so super important, but there's nothing that compares to shaking someone's hand or giving them a hug or just having a real conversation. It cannot be replaced. And that's what I know Dom and I really are priding ourselves on, that this is going to be not only you're going to learn, you're going to be immersive, you are going to meet people and learn, and you're going to leave with 100, 200, 300 friends, new friends.
Great, perfectly said. And we didn't bring together, we didn't bring together a group that didn't have this kind of energy, that wasn't a supportive group. They are all on board with this. They want to lift. These are givers, people that give so much to me and Julie that we see at times where we're like, stop, you don't have to do all that. And they'll, have us on the podcast, support us in many different ways. So we're appreciative of all of them in face as well.
And I want a second or third or fourth what y'all just said, because y'all are huge givers. Like, I just got connected with you two a month or two back by one of your speakers, actually a couple of your speakers
Harry
that I know.
Spate.
Harry Spate. And
who else do you know besides Harry?
Jen Garrett.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jen Garrett. These are all Dom's authors. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so they told me about y'all's greatness. And I mean, Julie's already introduced me to multiple people and helped me rewrite my intro, and just because she can. And like I try to help her and she's like, no, let's talk about you. And Dom's cut from the same cloth. And these two people here, you guys, this is the kind of people you want to be around. They have a high degree of understanding of what their genius looks like and how to use that to serve other people at a high level. And I don't know about you guys, but that's what it's all about. It's about growth and giving. The more we grow, the more we can give. And it feels really good to be in that space and to be around people who, like, the only bias the people you're around are biased towards helping you get whatever your version of amazing is. And that's you two. So, man, thanks for just being level 10 humans. That's beautiful.
Oh, I really like Kevin. Jeez.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
He's got great taste,
so
right?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
level 10 humans. And you know what? If there's, we all have that feeling that there has to be more. Even when we hit that plateau, we've been doing things and it's about reinventing, and it's about, Kevin, isn't it about doing the things that are hard?
Yeah, absolutely.
To, like, get to where you're at. So tell me about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, hard choices, easy life, right? Or however it's been said. But for the longest time, I tried to make the easy choices and have a big life, but it just doesn't work that way. And I think you said it last week when we were talking. Yeah, you're like, hard choices equal big business, and that's so true. And just because things are hard doesn't mean it's not for us. Like the fact that it's hard means that you're probably going to grow, because there's going to be tension and stress, and that's okay. Like, as long as I don't personalize the hard, like, really good things usually follow. The good news about hard things, I can do hard things, and so can you. And I'm really grateful for all the people that have pushed through the hard before us, because you know what? Like, my dad's life was a lot harder than mine, and he was intentional about making mine easier because of that. And I'm so grateful that, people have forged this path for us, and people like you are bringing people together. I know how hard it is to organize a small event. I can't imagine all the moving parts y'all have coming at you every day on something like this. And you guys do it with like ease, grace, and flow. And it's really beautiful. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
Ease, grace, and flow. I'm going to try to work on that. Dom's like, ease, grace, and flow. I don't see that with Julie. She's like crazy.
And think about, like you mentioned about if things were hard, like
Yeah.
if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
The great things, they're not easy, and it's going to take a little more effort. It's going to take a little more time, and that's okay. There doesn't have to be a timeline on when you achieve your moment. I'm thinking about the Queen's Gambit, this movie that
Yeah.
became popular over series on Netflix, became popular over the pandemic. I hear it took the guy 35 years to write it.
Wow.
Right? He said 35 years. I don't want to wait. But when the time was right, and it hit 70 million people in a week watched it at one point. I mean, come on. When the time's right, if you've prepared, if you've done the work, if you've done the hard, bam,
Mhm.
it's going to happen.
Oh,
So
that's
good.
incredible.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's so many great stories of overnight success that took 30 years, right? And
Yeah.
we just need to keep going. I think that's the goal. And I want to know, we're running out of time here. I know Dom's got another show to work on, hikes and bikes. Is that right?
Yeah, bikes and hikes. We're going to
Bikes and
film
hikes.
today. We're filming. I hope I don't fall down and get hurt or hit my head. So
If you do that, we're in big trouble, Dom. So don't.
Yeah, wear a helmet. But
Wear a helmet.
so same question to both of you guys. And Julie, if you want to go first, what is something I could have asked that I didn't ask that you'd like to share about?
That's a good question. What didn't you ask that I want to share about? I think why did you have to ask me first? Because I need a little time, but I think we covered all the bases, but maybe it's about understanding the story behind the story behind me, the story behind Dom. And because I always want to ask people this question, but I forget. So the story behind the story, the connection behind the connection. But I mean, you did a fantastic job and almost brought Dom and I to tears. So thank you very much.
Well, my pleasure. Thanks for being here and just sharing so authentically. Dom, same question, brother.
Well, you gave me. I had the lead in so I could think, and then
yeah,
so
my answer was really bad. So yours better be better.
I'm gonna go simple as can be. I wished you would have asked me, where did you start? So let's say I'm here today, published hundreds of books, worked with maybe 1,000 authors. I want you to ask me, where did you start? And my answer would be, it doesn't matter. So no matter where you're at today, it doesn't matter. Wherever you want to go, take the actions, move forward, you have what it takes. So even though I was a chubby little kid with big teeth and dweeby and beat up, doesn't matter. It matters what you do next. And so that's with a minute to think while Julie was.
Yeah, my answer was so bad.
That's what I would give.
But yours was great.
I don't think you did anything bad, Julie.
Kevin, what is one thing we don't know about you that we need to know about you?
Oh, wow. Let's see. How about one of my favorite things to really share with people that are struggling is, you know what? If you stop assigning responsibility to other people for how you feel, things will start working out a lot better for you. And I think that is really advice to Kevin and not necessarily anybody else. And it's about being kind when it's about being right. And I see a lot of kindness coming from you too. And I think kindness is a superpower that's dramatically underrated. So thanks for just the way y'all show up and who you be. And for you guys listening, it's Creative Con, and it is spelled CRE with the number 8, TIVE. Did I spell that right? I've been practicing that for an hour before we got on here.
Creative side. We put the 8 in there, like instead of the A, because we're creatives.
Yeah, I love that.
It'd be confusing, but
and creativecon.com. And make sure you come and attend and bask in the brilliance that these two amazing humans have put together for you. All righty, you guys. Grateful. I think that's it. Yeah, grateful to know y'all. Thanks for being here.
Unlock your freedom.
Yeah, unlock your creativity in February. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Alrighty, you guys. Thanks for making it through to the end of the Unlock Your Freedom podcast with us. Really grateful to have amazing listeners like you. Thank you guys again for listening. We love you, and we'll see you next time inside the Unlock Your Freedom podcast with Kevin Kepple.